All right, hi, welcome back. Attorney Steve Vondran here. We are talking in this video about disclaimers. Disclaimers, okay, this is general legal information only and not legal advice. Don't even think about trying to use it as legal advice. Anyway, we are talking about disclaimers. This seems to be a good example to show you so you can understand this a little bit. Now, some people will say, I actually just got done watching a video. A guy said, you know, these disclaimers are invalid. They don't hold up in court. They don't hold water. You know, like when you go and you do bungee jumping and you sign a waiver saying, I will not hold anybody liable, I should say. I will not hold anybody liable. Or you go to the sporting event, like a baseball game. I remember people used to sign waivers and somebody got hit by a baseball bat in one of my games. And they said, well, sorry, you can't sue. You know, you signed a waiver. It's on the ticket. Or, you know, things along those lines. Or you go to a theme park and it said we're not liable for your injuries, or a sport like gymnastics. We're not liable if you hurt yourself around here, you know. So this is the latest rally. So Trump is back in rally mode, it appears. And we'll be going out to Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And apparently this came to my attention that he is having people sign what's called a COVID waiver. And as you know, COVID is all over the place, all over the world. And sometimes it sounds like it's slowing down, and sometimes it sounds like it's heating up. So it's really hard to know what it is and exactly to what extent it is. But we trust our experts, at least that's the idea here. But he has a disclaimer. So I just want to show you that. It says right here, if you go to his website and try to register, and I heard he had something like 800,000 people try to register or something, which is insane. Of course, they couldn't hold that, but I don't know. I think it was, you know, people going online and doing this. But let's take a look at the disclaimer itself by registering below. And by the way, this is a very simple, very basic one. And sometimes simpler the better. Keep it simple, stupid, as they say. The KISS principle, KISS. By clicking register below, you're acknowledging that an inherent risk of exposure to COVID-19, aka the China virus, the Wuhu virus, I think it is, exists in any public place where people are present. Okay, so we see a lot of rallies right now, things like that, protests. By attending the rally, you and any guests voluntarily assume the risk. There's your buzzword, assume the risk. You assume the risk related to exposure to COVID-19 and agree not to hold Mr. Trump, BOK Center, ASM Global, probably the promoters and people that put that on, or any of their affiliates, directors, officers, employees, agents, contractors, or volunteers liable for any illness or injury. So there is a, what I would say kind of a typical disclaimer, but this is a very simple, very easy to understand. If you go, you're taking your risks, okay? And that's why we have, you know, basically trying to keep people in-house, stay down, stay put, social distancing, all that stuff. But people are going out, they're marching, they're protesting. So here is a disclaimer. If you decide, well, I want to go, you are risking it. You are taking your own personal risk, as well as perhaps risking other people if you should contract it. But it's crazy nowadays because everybody's out protesting. And so as much as we may say, well, stay home, stay home, stay home, people just keep going out. They're marching, they're protesting, and this is all over the world. So I just want you to know, and I will tell you, just as a matter of California law, where I'm licensed to practice in Arizona, California and Arizona, these clauses can be enforceable. And to the contrary of what I mentioned at the beginning, usually they will be upheld. These are contracts. You're entering into a voluntary contract. They're telling you what's going on. You're giving your consent to this. They are giving you admission. So there is some consideration for you contract students out there. There's your consideration. Consideration is what? The glue that holds the contract together. Okay, so you do have it. Now, generally, it's going to cover negligence. So any ordinary negligence, and I'm just speaking for California here, any ordinary negligence Something happens, you slip, you fall, you go into the bathroom at one of these rallies and you slip and fall, you signed it away. Now, what it may not cover, however, is intentional torts or gross negligence. Gross negligence. What's that? That's a little bit higher. It's a little higher standard than ordinary negligence, okay? So gross negligence, maybe it would be, let's say the janitor is supposed to come and, once every hour or so and check the bathrooms, make sure there's nothing on the floor that somebody could slip on. Maybe you go in and you slip. Turns out the janitor never showed up at all. He was over at eating a hot dog at the hot dog stand. So those kinds of things where maybe it could be shown that it was gross negligence or intentional, somebody intended something. But other than that, yeah, I think in many cases these clauses can be upheld. This is why they try to use them. It doesn't mean people don't try to, do what we call waiver busting, try to bust the waiver. But this, I wanted you to know, I have not done a video on liability releases, assumption of the risk defenses. This is a defense. But here it is. This is what it looks like. And if you go to the rally, you are agreeing, you are taking your own risks. And, it would have to be something, to me, something out of the extraordinary. Now, realize every state can be different. I am not talking about Oklahoma law. I'm not a licensed attorney in Oklahoma, so you got to check your state laws, see what the state law requires. But in general, I'll tell you from a California perspective, if the liability waiver is clear and conspicuous, if it provides the knowing consent, okay, it lays out what the issue is, and you knowingly consent, you basically are said to have assumed the risk. And if something happens, you have assumed the risk, okay? So I hope everybody stays safe out there. This is like kind of crazy time right now. Everybody's out, it seems like, either in rallies or protesting, or I'm seeing economies coming back and then shutting down and coming back. So I don't know what to make of it all, but all I know is we're all in this together. So let's all try to stay safe and be good to each other, okay? Have a great day. AttorneySteve.com, civil litigation, that's AttorneySteve.com, the first name in legal services. Have a great day now. You know something about liability waivers and assumption of the risk.